Hi, welcome to GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. This is going to be my initial review. I was going to do an unboxing, but I can't be bothered with unboxings. If you want to see unboxings, by the way, let me know and I will do some. But I get bored watching them, and I don't know. I don't see the point of it. Here's instructions. It's the same old thing. And what you want to see is the product, I think. So this is my initial review of the GH4, so I'm going to go through things like the handling, a little bit about the specifications. I'm not going to talk too much about video because I'm a photographer at heart. I do video, obviously, but I know everyone says you buy this camera for the video, but I didn't. I bought it as just an all-round camera. And I have briefly gone over why that is in my other video called I'm Back, but I'll just quickly explain why I chose this size, weight. The fact that it does 4K video is of little interest to me, I have to say, although it is a wonderful thing and it future-proofs it, but it's not something I'm ever going to use. I generally upload to YouTube in 720 anyway, so it's not going to be of great use for me, although I am experimenting and playing about with it. But my reasoning was that if it can do 4K video, it will be able to do everything else so much easier and faster, because the processing that is required to do 4K video will just eat up, for any sort of photo sort of issues, and that's borne out really in the speed that it focuses, the speed that it writes to the cards. And while we're on that subject, just to quickly talk about the cards. Now, a lot of the reviews have said you need a really fast cards for these to do 4K, you need this, that and the other, you'll get problems with some cards. Well, I've always, for the last, 4 years, I've shot with SanDisk Ultras, which I think that's like one down from the extreme, and there's maybe some super extreme ones, I don't know, but they're good cards, don't get me wrong, but they're not particularly expensive. You can pick them up fairly cheap. It says it's a class 10 SDHC1 and it writes at 30 megabits per second. Don't really know what any of that means, but I chucked it in, and I've got 8, 16 and 32 gig cards for these. And bear in mind, this is only a 16 megapixel camera. You can get thousands of photos on here and a good decent amount of video. So I thought, well, what the heck, I'll try it. And it works absolutely fine. I've done it on 4K, I've done the slow motion, I've done the films. It absolutely works fine. So I don't know really what we'll talk about is you have to use SanDisk Extremes and some other cards and that. If you're going to go and buy one of these, just try with the cards you've got. If they don't work, then buy SanDisk Extremes or some of the others that people have suggested, or the SanDisk Ultras. Work fine for me. The first thing I noticed about this camera when I bought it was the feel of it in the hand, and I'll just take the grip off there, which I just have a grip without a battery in it, to be honest, because it keeps it light, but you've got the extra controls, and it's a really nice sort of feature to have, so I do like that. But that's the camera without the grip, so it does shrink quite a lot, and you get a nice tiny little camera. And the first thing I liked was the grip on it. Now, the grip on this actually feels better to me than the grip on my D7000. It's more comfortable to hold, my fingers sit better, it seems to be a bit wider, and it's shaped better for my hand. As I said previously, the Olympus OMD-EM1, I didn't like the grip at all. I just couldn't, it was too thin and I couldn't grip it as well as this. This just feels really nice in the hand for single operation. It's beautiful. I love the articulating screen. It's also a touch screen. And take note, at Nikon, Canon, everybody else, every camera now, digital SLR, in my opinion, should come with a fully articulating touchscreen. You can turn the touchscreen off, you can turn it on, you can use it as a touchpad, you can use it for flicking through photos, for zoom-in pitch. You've got all those functions, and every camera, in my opinion, should now have one. I've never had issues with them going wrong or breaking off or knocking them, or if you've got that there and you smash it into something, you're going to snap it off. So that is the downside. But if you're in an environment where that might happen, then just put it onto the back of the camera like that, or you can turn it face in so you can't even scratch the screen. You've got the plasticky bit there and just use the viewfinder, you know. So it gives you all the options. That's the point of it. You can do it, you know, you can use it how you want it. And I just think that should be on every new camera now. They should be saying, right, the first thing we need is a fully articulating touchscreen. It's just fantastic. Touch to focus, touch to shoot, you know, touch in video. It's just fantastic, brilliant. Okay, so that's that. I've got it mounted here with the beautiful little Olympus 45 1.8. Yep, that's an Olympus lens, works perfectly on here. It's not image stabilized on the body though. That's the downside with this, is that things like the GX7, the Pen, EP5 that I'm filming on, or EPL5, all have in-body stabilisation, whereas the GH4 doesn't. But I'm not bothered, to be honest. That's why I've got the EPL5. I can just stick that on the EPL5 and it becomes image stabilised, so that's fine. So controls are absolutely beautiful, a bit Canon-like. I'm used to the Nikon stuff down the side, but this is a little bit more Canon-like. I've got me shutter release button here, I've got my front dial, I've got a rear dial, and they both work really nicely. I've got my white balance, my ISO, and my exposure compensation. The ISO button in the middle has got two dimples on it, so you can feel it without looking, and you can, once you feel that, you then can move to the sides for your white balance or your exposure compensation. There's a function button on the top there, which is defaulted to the Wi-Fi, and you can change that to whatever you want. The second thing that all cameras should have on, especially Nikon, take note of this, is this. That's it. It's just a push. If you want to lock your mode dial, you lock it. I now cannot move that. If you want to unlock it and move it, you unlock it and you leave it. So again, you've got the choice. Not one of these where you have to push and turn it, or one that doesn't have one at all. And then, so if you're worried about it and you want to lock your mode dial, you can lock your mode dial. Personally, I leave it unlocked because I've never, ever, ever on any of my cameras accidentally knocked the mode dial. This little dial here has got your single frame shooting, your multiple shooting, and bracketing, timer, and it's also got a quick link into your sort of time-lapse and stop motion video as well, so that's a handy little switch there. Around the back of the camera we've got your preview button, another function button which defaults to switching the LVF on and off. I've got mine on automatic. Then you've got your AE lock button, and then surrounding it you've got your autofocus, manual focus and continuous focus switch. You've got your record button there, your quick menu button which is also a function button, another function button there. You've got your display change button, your trash can return button which is also another function button. Then you've got your wheel, so you've got another dial, and it's also a D-pad, and it's also a menu set button as well. So there's tons of stuff that, and you can change this as you want. And then on your actual screen itself you've got more function buttons which you can change to whatever you want. So and the screen it's not, you know, oh, it's a touch screen, it's not very usable. It's perfectly usable, and the function buttons on there work really well. I've got one for image stabilisation, one for VFR, variable frame rates in video. I've got an HDR button there for quick access into HDR. What else have I got? Flash exposure compensation there as well. So your lesser used functions, which you don't want to go into the menu, are handy to have. The quick menu is fantastic. It's all touchscreen, so you can just touch what you want and then go into it and change your auto-focusing system, you know, everything there. It's just very, very intuitive. Performance wise, it's fantastic. I can't say any more than that really, other than to show you a couple of demos. That's a nice screen on the back. You can have it formatted like a digital SLR, so you're using the viewfinder, got all your information you need there. And the bonus is, again, you can touch stuff to change it, which is just fantastic. I went to use the D7000 the other day, and the first thing I did, I thought, oh, I need to change the ISO, and I touched on the screen, nothing happened. You know, why is that so difficult to do that? I want to change me, I don't know, me metering mode just quickly. Just click on it, change your metering mode. You know, it's that simple. It's wonderful. So you've got, it will go up to, so it'll go down to 60 seconds and then into bulb on the shutter, and it goes up to 1/8000th of a second. There's also an electronic shutter, so you can shoot silently on this, which is really nice. You've got what else? Oh yeah, Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi function works really well. I can pair it up. I've got it paired up to my iPad and my iPhone, and it's great for that. You've got full functionality. You can change all the stuff in the menus. You can record, stop. On some lenses, like these power zoom lenses, you can zoom, you can focus, you can touch to focus, all from your iPad or your iPhone, and it's simple. It works a treat. There is a pop-up flash. There is a hot shoe for external flashes. Not something I'm really gonna get into, I don't think. Handy for off-camera flash. Again, all other camera manufacturers take note. There is a microphone input there, which is that's handy because if I'm just using the mic input, I can still fully articulate the screen and it doesn't get in the way. However, when you use the headphone jack, which is there, it does start to get in the way of the screen, so bear that in mind. And then you've got your HDMI and your AV digital out there as well, all behind nice weather sealed doors, nice rubbery doors, and they sort of all click in quite nicely, which is good. I like the fact that the little mic one at the top there is sort of on its own. That's quite nice. No buttons around the front. The only thing on the front here is this looks to me like a flash sync. Yeah, it's a flash sync port for a bit of studio stuff if you're into that sort of thing, which is that's a nice little addition, which I didn't even realise was there. And what's this here? I haven't seen this. There's a little flap here which says remote, so you can plug in your external remote in there as well. But you know, you can just use your iPhone, to be honest, for that. I can't see why I would need that. And obviously SD card there behind the nice door. The just a little bit about the battery grip. Oh no, let's go performance first. Let's just give you a quick demo on the performance of this beastie. Autofocus is on all the lenses I've tried. It's just, you can hear that. It's just really fast and wonderful. This is low, so you get low burst rate with live view, and if you've got it in continuous, you can have continuous autofocus in. Fairly slow, as you would expect in the low. Then let's just change it to medium with live view. That's the setting that I have it in. If I'm on continuous, that's the one I have it in. That's plenty fast enough. And then you can go high, which you lose the live view, and I think you also lose the continuous autofocus in. This is just, that's quicker than a D4S, but without autofocus, continuous. And then there's more. It goes faster than that. Let's just go into SH. I mean, what's that got to be? Super high. You can't hear that because that uses the electronic shutter and it goes like that. And I've just taken so many pictures there, it's ridiculous in that short space of time. And I think that downsizes the image file size as well. But just to let you know, I just held it for, I don't know, a second or so, and it took 39 pictures, but it saves them in groups, which is nice. So if I want to delete all those 39 pictures, I can just delete all pictures in the group, yes, and that's just deleted 39 photos like that. And again, that's what comes down to this processing speed of this thing, is that everything it does is quick, it's fast. You know, flicking through the photos with the wheel, you know, you can just quickly flick through and look at the photos, and it's all really quick and snappy. You can use it like an iPhone and just go through the pictures like that. You can zoom in on them, you can go back out, you know, I can delete, single, yes, that's deleted. You know, everything about it is quick and intuitive. It's just a wonderful thing to use. And let's face it, I think you'd find it difficult to go into a camera shop these days, spend, you know, £1,000 on a camera plus a lens, and get something with poor image quality. I don't think that's an issue now. I mean, some of the comments I've had about switching to the GH4 have been, well, you should have kept your D7000, or you should have kept your D610. Well, I would have if I could, but I can't afford to do that, you know. But I don't think I would have. It would have probably just sat in a corner collecting dust anyway, because people say, oh, you're not going to get such good pictures out of it. Well, I'm sorry, but you do. And just a quick point to note, and I'm sorry I'm rambling on again, rather than add photos, which I will add a few photos to the end of some of my videos, not particularly this one, but if you want to look at photos from any of my camera gear, if you go on to Flickr and just search for GRVOTV, add me as one of your sort of, you know, links or favourites or whatever it is, and then you'll see my photos. I put a good number on, not every single photo I take, so you won't get drowned out with, you know, photos of my, you know, family, birthdays and whatnot. I just tend to put some of the nicer photos I've taken on there. I put a lot of zoo pics, and if I'm testing a particular lens or a camera, I will put a batch of photos on about that, and so you'll be able to get all the EXIF information. You'll be able to look at full resolution images, and it's a nice easy way of doing it. So rather than me just putting up a few on YouTube, which you can't really tell the quality, have a look on Flickr, and you can zoom in and, you know, do what you want and look at those pictures. I think it's the best way of viewing the photos on there. So yeah, that's that. So I won't be putting too many up at the end. So there you go, the Panasonic Lumix GH4. Have I regretted downsizing from full frame? Absolutely not. I can't think of any issues that I've run into. People say about the shallow depth field, not a problem. Low light performance, not a problem. It's not a low light monster, but it's absolutely fine. It's probably as good as, if not better than, the D7000 was. And when you get little lenses like this, you know, 1.8 Olympus, then low light really doesn't become too much of a problem. The lens I've got for it is the 45-175, do a separate review, and the wonderful 12-35 2.8. So there you go, this is my initial review and thoughts on the Panasonic Lumix GH4. As you can tell, I guess, I am absolutely loving it. I think it's wonderful. 100% thoroughly recommend it, and there'll be more reviews coming in, and so keep posted. I've got reviews to do on this lens, the battery grip, different bits and bobs to go with it. So this has been GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. I'll see you soon. Bye.